Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the vertex in the 6th house in a natal chart. Now, if you have the vertex in the 6th house in your natal chart, well, first thing is, you may be encouraged, cajoled, coaxed, persuaded, and even downright implored by others to focus on matters pertaining to your health, to your hygiene, matters pertaining to your daily routine, perhaps even pets as well if you do have them. People may ask you to be of service to them. You may be, as far as health goes, you might be required or asked to start a vigorous workout regime or exercise program. You may be encouraged to take some of the time away from your private life and from solitude and seclusion, because remember, with the vertex in the 6th house, you have the anti-vertex in the 12th. And you may be encouraged to deal with the working world more. What's interesting is I have the anti-vertex in my 12th house, and of course the vertex in the 6th, and somebody had tried to encourage me one time to get out and be a little bit more extroverted, I guess you could say. I have the vertex in Libra, so it's like I'm being encouraged to be more relationship oriented, I guess, and get out of that anti-vertex 12th house thing. I also have some other planets, astro energy in the 12th, so that obviously doesn't help as far as being very introverted and introspective or what have you. But anyway, back to the vertex in the 6th house. Also, there may be cases with diet and nutrition that may need to be addressed. Relationships may be formed with people in the health industry, such as nutritionists, doctors, health and fitness instructors. It could be with people that are health conscious, such as people that work out consistently and exercise on a regular basis. Also, it could be people in some hygienic field. And now, if you have pets, they may need more of your time and attention, and others may encourage you to give more time to them. Now, of course, the sign that the vertex is in can figure prominently as well and could impact the delineation. Now, let's say, for example, you have your vertex in Virgo in your 6th house. Well, you may be required, perhaps, and pulled toward scrutinizing details over matters pertaining to pets, your health, and your daily routine and place of employment. You might be asked to be more meticulous regarding matters connected with hygiene. And really, also, another example, let's say that you have the vertex in Aquarius in your 6th house. Well, there, you may be asked to do something Aquarius-like as far as employment goes, like with computers or electronics, and maybe troubleshoot computers, for example, at your place of employment. Even if it's not part of the job description, it could just be something that might be asked of you more if people know that, say, you have even fundamental computer skills, such as maybe being able to figure out what virus might be in a computer, or somebody's computer's corrupted. You might be at least be able to give them direction, as an example, as to where to go and how to solve the problem. Anyway, this could also be about, when you have another thing to look at, is that if you have, let's say, aspects to the vertex, they could be important as well, as they could impact the delineation. Now, let's say, for example, you have Mars making a sextile or trying to your 6th house vertex. Well, this could suggest a surfeit of energy can be injected into the vertex in 6th house matters. You may be, so whatever you're asked to do that's perhaps in connection with the vertex in the 6th house. You could have an abundance of energy, likely to be able to do it and direct that energy very positively into those matters. So anyway, now another example, let's say that Mars is making an adverse aspect to your natal vertex in the 6th house. This could suggest that others' requests that are associated with the placement may cause some exasperation and acrimony, and you might become angry and agitated at those requests, and may not always have the physical energy or to action, the vitality to be able to do it, or it might take a toll on your stamina, vitality, and energy. So anyway, well, also it's important as far as synastry goes. The vertex can be significant. If you have, let's say you have your vertex in your 6th house and it's making a conjunction to another sun, moon, or ascendant. Well, this could be an ordained, destined, or fated meeting. It could be one that could be somebody that you meet at work, your place of employment. Could be somebody that might be involved in your daily routine, and this could be something where the connection may not be instantaneous, like one south node making a conjunction to another sun, moon, or ascendant, but it could still be a powerful and important connection nonetheless, and it could be one that's more unanticipated and unexpected, and something where you might not feel the initial connection, but as the relationship evolves and progresses, you might start to feel something, and it feels like something very unanticipated and unexpected, like where did that come, like you're being very surprised that maybe you feel that connection because it happened so suddenly, but not necessarily right when the relationship and the connection actually begins. So anyway, well, if there's also, let's say for example, let's say that it was in, let's say that you have the vertex in Taurus, and it makes a conjunction to one's Taurus ascendant. Well, you might be pulled or drawn toward that person's Taurus ascendant outer qualities that they show, such as the very calm, relaxed, placid qualities, and the strong, persistent energy and the persevering qualities of this person, and perhaps the person's quiet strength that they exude. So anyway, as far also, it's important to look at, to see if there are any, you could say, Contra Indicators in your natal chart, or things that might help reaffirm this energy. Now, let's say, for example, you have, let's say, for example, if you have Saturn in the 6th house, or you have, or another example, Saturn in the 6th could show that there may be health issues that need to be addressed, and planets in the 6th house can sometimes indicate health issues, of course. So obviously, if you have the vertex in the 6th, and say you're being encouraged and coaxed by others to address these matters, you might already be aware of this, and it makes it easier for you to address them because you are very cognizant of it, and you likely are going to address them even without others' encouragement anyway. Even Jupiter, say Jupiter in the 6th, I have Jupiter in the 6th in conjunct my ascendant. Jupiter is in Libra, and I have had issues with my lower back issues. I have a protruding or bulging disc in my lower back, and of course Libra is connected with the lower back. And remember that Jupiter could be paradoxical. It's not, it's mainly benign and benevolent, but it can also have a propensity to expand and enlarge issues. So that in conjunct to the ascendant, I think, has played a strong role. Jupiter in Libra in conjunct my ascendant has played a role in those health issues. And I also have had kidney issues as well, kidney stones that I had pulverized many years ago. So anyway, a lot of that is that Jupiter, I think, in the 6th in conjunct my ascendant. So if you have certain, in other words, if you have other certain indicators in your chart where you have health issues or can have propensity for health issues or what have you, then I think it's easier actually to follow up on those really on those requests that are connected with the vertex in the 6th house placement. And I mean, say what helps too, of course, I mean, if you have, say, and also let's say, for example, you have a strong Virgo and or a 6th house emphasis in general, that can make, those could be factors that could reaffirm this energy. But keep in mind too, I mean, the 6th house is about work and employment, and if others, you know, the vertex and 6th house placements, say, are trying to coax, cajole, persuade you to do things more work-related in your life and to work laboriously and take care of work-related matters, and say, well, say your Venus is afflicted and strongly afflicted, you might feel more like kind of laying down, more relaxing, you might be more lethargic rather than actually doing work. Or even if your Saturn is afflicted, it might be harder to do things that require laborious work and taking on responsibilities, which of course can include work. Say Mars, even if Mars is even afflicted, I mean, that could show certain energy levels perhaps being a little bit dissipated. If you have Mars making an adverse aspect to, you say, your natal Neptune in your chart, your energy might be a little bit dissipated and you might feel more like just being lethargic and relaxing as opposed to doing things, and that can include work-related matters. So you could see how these elements could even play a role in whether you're able to really follow up on what is encouraged by those by that vertex in the 6th house placement. And also, say if you have a strong 12th house and you don't have any planets in the 6th, you don't have any of the nodes in it, either of the south node or north node, and let's say you have no planets in Virgo, south and north node are not, neither one is in Virgo, and say your midheaven and ascendant are not in Virgo, and you have a very strong and emphasized 12th house, well, that could be problematic as well, because you could be more about solitude, seclusion, your alone time, and perhaps even relaxing and being in maybe in some cases your own little world, your own fantasy world, as opposed to doing things of a work-related employment nature even. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for the vertex in the 6th house in a natal chart. Stay tuned next time where I'll be talking about the vertex in the 7th house in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.